Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is that time. Wednesday night, hump night. Your man, Jelani JB Bodie is in the building again. Me, you, Lopan, and we going to be discussing this sports topics, the sports news, the sports controversy. Whatever it is that you may want to talk about, we may talk about that tonight. But regardless, we get it in on the Two Live Stews Radio Network. Let's go.
Blood up on the wall, can you see it? As the people fall from an AK-47, spraying down the hall. Oh, this screaming, this act is so inhuman. This must be living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. My things won't that so man, won't that so man. Your dreams, my things won't that so man. Why would you wanna be right when what's wrong is what's right? In my darkness is light, I have you shining so bright. I give you power and hoes, flashy cars and the clothes, couple pounds of this strong. If you want it, let's go, let's get this money. Money, I see you looking at the money. Money, you bowing down to this money. Money, you're doing something strange for this piece of change. We're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living. All I see is bloodthirsty politicians, ultimate vampires, ultimate vampires, ultimate vampires, zombies and ghouls who are ruled by desire. In a world that's burning up with hellfire. Back to scene one, where the damage was done. You need to look in this mirror. Who are you running from? What have you done? Da-dun, 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 da. What have you done? Da-dun, 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 da. Can't wipe the blood off your hands. Smear it off if you can. Can't escape from the truth. Deep within lies of proof. The evidence is off the meter. Oh, you're as guilty as your leader. We're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. We are living in a
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
This is a podcast.
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Hold up. Wait a minute, show. JB Bodie, that's my bro. Wait a minute, show. My man Pan is on the low. Wait a minute, show. JB Bodie, that's my bro. Wait a minute, show. My man Pan is on the low. Coming straight out of Flake, Michigan. JB Bodie is him again. 2 times Wednesday, Saturday. Show make you wanna sing Donny Hathaway. Facebook Live, Spreaker.com. It's the Wait a Minute Show, fan, man. We drop bombs as we proceed. Just tune in, no need to take a feed. Hanging with the stews. JB, that's my dude. And I don't mean to be rude, but these other shows lame like eating prunes. Facebook got you tweaking. Spreakers, eardrums bleeding. JB got what you need. My man Lopez saying yes indeed. Go to thewaitaminuteshow.com to follow all episodes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is going down once again. Wednesday night, hump night. Your man Jelani JB Bodie is in the building in the Lion Den Studios. Coming to you live, 9 p.m., a little bit after 9 p.m., but 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the ATL. Me and my gracious co-host, Lopan. What's up, Lopan? I'm glad you're here. You're on time, and you didn't show up 15, 16, 17 minutes late like you always do. You know, because normally we just play the hook, you know, for Lopan until he actually get here, and then he starts speaking in, you know, about 20 minutes into the show. Indeed. Yeah. So, thank you, Lopan, for gracing us with your presence on time. So, as I said before, you listen to the Wait a Minute Show with your man Jelani JB Bodie and my co-host Lopan on the Two Live Stews Radio Network, and I am pumped up as usual. It's Wednesday night, it's hump night. I told you we're gonna get you with your sports fix and tuck you in tonight and get ready for the weekend like we always do. It's hump night, not hump day, hump night. We already got through the day. Now we're into the night. Well, some folks, you know, it depends on what time zone you're in. But a lot of stuff that's on the plate tonight. As you know, tonight is the last day of the regular season. So that is why today's show is titled that playoff spots goes down tonight. So a lot of things, there's a lot of different scenarios and everything. So anything could go down and people be slotted in the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference. So it's going to be a lot of stuff that is going on. So we're going to get into it, and we'll talk a little NBA. Of course, we're going to talk about the NFL as well. We're going to do part 2. And I saw my man Kevin Gray from Clutch Talk Sports. You probably will want to tune into this, sir, because part 2 of my mock draft, we go through picks 12 through 22. So, sir, your Dallas Cowboys, who will be picking at the 19th spot. I got a player for you, sir. Just see what you think about it, you know, and this is my mock draft. And we're also, since we're talking about the Cowboys, we're going to get into Dez Bryant. He got a meeting coming up in less than 2 days with Jerry Jones. So that will be an interesting meeting. I think I can give you a little insight to maybe what that meeting is about and how it may go down. So stay tuned in, I should say, to the show. We'll talk about that a little bit later into the show. And I have a honorable mention, but Mocha Bella is in the chat room, and I'll tell you about the chat room in a second if you're new to the show. The Big L Award will be given out tonight. That's right. That is right. And I think it's going to be well deserved. Actually, there's a few people that might get some honorable mentions and everything. It just depends on how the show goes and how I feel. But we definitely will be giving out at least one Big L Award tonight. Indeed, Lopan. Let me say that again. Indeed, Lopan. So, like I said, we got a lot of stuff that's on the plate, and we got people. And I was talking about the chat with Mocha Bella. So if you are new to the show, make sure that you might be listening right now. Make sure you get into the chat room. There is a chat room that you can get into on this show. But if you don't have a profile, you have to create a profile, which is free. It's very easy to do. So when you go in, you just create it. Whatever name you want. Doesn't even have to be your real name. If you got a nickname or something like that, or alias, or whatever it is that you want to do, or use a friend, a foe's name, or all that, you can do that. And then you can jump into the chat room with the rest of the listeners of the Wait a Minute show. Try to make it very interactive. You say what you got to say in the chat room. I try and keep up with it. I respond, answer questions, all that good stuff that goes on here in the city of the ATL. So, what can we start with first? Let's talk with a little college basketball. How about we do that first? Get that out the way. And some news came out on Tuesday, I want to say, if I remember right, that the NCAA, now remember, the NCAA has been caught up into some of these FBI probes that's been going on, FBI investigations, I should say. And it was basically about teams, bribing players to come to their school. Adidas was, mentioned in this investigation. You had assistant coaches that are charged, people, former NBA players, all this stuff that's going on, and basically money being transferred. And we basically knew that was going on. I don't think that is a surprise to anyone. But the big thing is that, names are starting to fall, and there were schools, like Auburn and a few other schools that it was kind of like, okay, these aren't the major, schools when it comes to basketball. If this was football and you said Auburn, I'm like, okay, we're going somewhere with this. So, and I told you, just wait, because it can't just be these small schools. There has to be some type of blue chipper or blue blood. I think that's what they call, some of these conferences and everything in schools, blue blood, school that is going to be listed in this whole investigation. And now we're kind of getting closer, to it. So Kansas, the Jayhawks, they have been named in these new NCAA charges. So yeah, it was on Tuesday, and this was from The Score. So if you want to check this out, you can check it out yourself. But they were talking about how federal prosecutors, on Tuesday, announced additional charges levied against Adidas employees, and there was another man that they say, they don't say who it is, on this FBI investigation into NCAA basketball. So James Gatto, Merrill Cole, and a former NBA player agent named Christian Dawkins were charged in defrauding 4 NCAA schools, including University of Kansas, which was previously not named, in the scandal. So they are throwing names out there saying that, and this is the U.S. attorney for the South District of New York, saying that the men were involved in payments to the families now, not necessarily the players, but to the families, because it's an easy way of just saying, I didn't know anything was going on. But the families of 6 basketball players who later attended Kansas, NC State, Miami, Mocha Bella, your Miami, and Louisville. And some of those recruits were NBA players right now, Josh Jackson and Dennis Smith Jr. And this is a source that told Yahoo's Dan Wetzel, about this. So basically, we're starting to get to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. There is going to be some type of, what can I say? It's going to be some part in this investigation that is really going to turn the knob, and it's going to turn it up. And everyone's trying to keep this on the low profile, about it. But we are getting now to the bigger schools, at this point. And I think, I don't think any big time heads will roll. You may get a couple. Now, Rick Pitino is a pretty big head, if you want to go with him, that they got him out of there. So I do think there will probably be some other coaches, if you will, not necessarily, a top-notch coach. People were talking about who was that?